Hey.
And there we are. Welcome, everybody. It is Friday, January 21, 2022. I am so pleased and happy and honored to have the Jackie Kravitz, Sales X Training, with me today. And we're going to get back and we're going to talk about a lot of different things. And we're going to push people. We're going to give you a lot of excitement. We're going to push people to do. Hey, what do you say we talk about doing 100 listings in 2022? How's that sound, Jackie?
My favorite topic.
Great. So we're going to talk about that. We'll be right back.
Real estate agent, are you looking to acquire clients consistently so you can grow your business and your income to live a great lifestyle? This is Dave Finale and the RE Skill Builder podcast.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Here we are. This is Real Estate Skill Builder. This is Real Estate Talk, TGIF, episode 189 from Real Estate Skill Builder, which is RE Skill Builder's company. And here we are. It's 189. We've done 186 weeks in a row, which is like absolutely amazing for me, even though I've done it every week. And I'm really excited. And today, I just wanted to mention we have two sponsors. One is njheroesprogram.com, where in the state of New Jersey, we try to help all of our heroes. And there's all kinds of different heroes in our lives: military, police, fire, EMT, nurses, teachers, DPW workers, grocery store workers, delivery people, all different kinds of people that have been heroes for us, especially over the past couple of years when we've been going through all the fun we've been going through. And we help them buy and sell homes, and we save them money. I can't talk about how it is over live here, but we do save you money. And lastly, also High Note. High Note is a platform built to help agents stand out, win more business in the most competitive markets, collect and deliver all resources in one trackable link. Use High Note for listing, buyer presentations, offers, recruitment, and more. So njheroesprogram.com and highnote.io. Jackie Kravitz, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you, Dave. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. We're going to have a lot of fun today. We're going to talk about a lot of different things. And as I said, this is Real Estate Talk, TGIF. And I ask everybody that starts the program, and I got to tell you that most people do fail the test. And it's only one question test. That's all it is what does TGIF stand for?
Oh my goodness, I'm afraid to answer because it must be something else than what I'm thinking about. Go ahead and tell me.
Okay, well, thank God it's finale. What's so hard about that?
Oh, see? Yeah.
Here we are. Jackie, again, thanks so much for coming. You and I met recently on a mastermind broadcast with Fast Forward Movement with a lot of EXP agents on it. And it was just so much fun to listen to you and your energy and stuff. And you know what? Finally, someone that I think you have more energy than I do. I don't know about that, but that's pretty freaking cool. So let's get right to the chase here. Let's tell me where. Sorry, 1 second. I'm doing three things at once here on my own production team. Tell me about where you came from, how you started in this business to be what you are with Sales X Training, to be the scripts and dialogues queen of real estate here. Tell me about that.
Where I came from nowhere, Dave. That's literally where I came from. I got a real estate license when I was 33 years old. Had really zero sales experience, zero knowledge of anything that would have helped me in having a real estate career. And I just started prospecting. I know that real estate agents tend to resist that a lot. I didn't. I attended a training event, and they talked about, hey, there's somebody in your market that wants to buy or sell a house today. Go find them. If you talk to enough people, you'll find one. I embraced that, and I started working nights and weekends my first 2 years because I had two small children. And my fourth year, my first 2 years, I sold 25 homes each year. And my fourth year, I closed 100 transactions by myself with one assistant, and went on to close 125, 130 for several years. And they all came from prospecting for sale by owners and expired listings, zero buyers. So I know that seems even like strange because most real estate agents don't like FSBOs and Expires. I love them. And there are certain things that I understand the agents don't like because they're not easy conversations. They have a lot of objections. I get that. That's true for everyone, myself included. What I loved about them is I'm talking to people that want to sell their house. So I think that's such a great, I mean, what better prospect can you talk to? So yeah, that's what I did. And I started coaching agents about 15 years ago, going to 16 years, 5 years for Mike Ferry, 10 years for Keller Williams, worked as a boat coach for 5 years, traveling the country. And now it's sales
Wow.
expert. That's it.
So you've done a little bit of work in the real estate business, so I hear, right? So and
Yes.
yeah, and one of the things that I've noticed through meeting you in the beginning a few weeks ago, as well as our conversation earlier in the week, was that passion is amazing to you, and the work you want to do is I mean, I've watched several of your trainings, and I've just been so excited about watching it. I actually taken notes on it, and it's like very, very cool. So, but you had to start somewhere, and you got training, and talk to me about the first training session you went to, because his stuff is still around, and I know a lot of people, and I actually paid for a lot of this for agents.
Yeah, it was Floyd Whitman's Sweat Hogs. That was the very first one. The funny thing about it, Dave, is I didn't really get a real estate license with the intention of making it a career. It was literally, I got a license because I was selling my house as a FSBO.
Right.
And after a few months, my house wasn't sold, and I had the great idea of, let me go get a real estate license just so I can list my own house and save 3%, which at the time was just like $3,000. And then the broker at the office that I was with said, there's this training coming, and it was Sweat Hogs. I have no idea what it was, but he was so enthusiastic and excited about it. I said, I had small kids, so it was really hard for me to make the time, and I didn't have money, but I made it there. And that's where I was introduced to prospecting, and I didn't really resist it. You know, I just went for it, because I think real estate agents, that's a challenge that I think a lot of my clients have had. They overthink things too much. They want to figure it all out. They want to know everything before they start, and they're afraid of that. I was just like, okay, whatever. Yeah, I got to talk to people. Let's go. And yeah.
So you were not a person that had that one disease I always talk about called getting ready to get ready. You didn't overthink it at all. You just went and did it.
No, that's me. Like, that's just my personality style. And sometimes certain people close to me, my children, sometimes my son more specifically, he's like, Mom, we don't have to do it right now. I'm like, no, we're going to do this. Let's go. I don't want to just, I don't go research and figure things out. It's just not what I do, which sometimes, a little bit of that might be useful. I'm the opposite. I'm just, let's go. If it doesn't work, we'll change it and we'll keep going. So it worked for me.
So you started prospecting, and you went to the Sweat Hogs program, and that was really cool for you. And then you got involved with another coach, right?
Yes.
Who was like, iconic throughout the country and the world, actually. Talk to me about Mike Ferry and everything you did and how you got started with Mike Ferry.
So I think it was about 6 months now after I got my real estate license. And I remember, same office, right? I'm walking around, and they had like a library of cassettes and things. And I saw like there was a bunch of, back then, these cassettes and training from Mike Ferry. So I started asking, who is this guy? And asking around the office. And I decided, I think this was 96. Well, I got a license in 96. So it must have been 97. I don't know, like a long time ago.
Right.
Mike had a superstar retreat in Marco Island, and I was living in Florida. So I attended that, and that just blew my mind. All of a sudden, Dave, before I got into real estate, I used to work in a hotel making $30,000 a year. So I walk into this place, and he's interviewing agents on stage that didn't seem, honestly, I'm not putting anybody down, but they didn't seem any smarter than me. They just seemed like skilled.
Yeah.
We were making like $1 million a year, $2-3 million a year selling real estate. I'm like, where am I? What is going on here? How do I do that?
Right.
And so, yeah, it was very inspiring. I never actually made $1 million a year selling real estate, because my average price was not that high. when my first few years, my average price was about 165. We're talking 26 years ago. But I still made a lot of money, more than I could ever have imagined. And it's been a great career. But I got involved with Mike Ferry coaching right away. And most of my education through the Mike Ferry organization came directly from him, from Mike Ferry himself. He's an incredible speaker. He's an amazing, he's just very motivating to me. I know Mike is one of those people, like, people either love him or hate him. I love them. The way that he's straight up and straight to the point, that works for me. Tell me how it is, I'll get it done. So yeah, it was great.
Well, that's how you are, though. I mean, you're straight and to the point, and there's no babying. I mean, your trainings, everything that you have is just like, this is what you got to do. Either you're going to do it or you're not. Plain and simple, right? You need to do this, you need to do this. And you break it down all the time to little pieces, which I love, because it's pretty amazing. So you geared up and you ramped up into to 100 transactions a year. How long did it take you to do that after learning all this stuff from Mike Ferry and everything else?
Well, my first 2 years, I was working part-time, just nights and weekends. And
Right.
My third year is when I started working full-time. That first full-time year, I sold, I think, 45 homes. And then my fourth year, I closed 100 transactions, all listings sold, all FSBOs and Expires. It was so fun. And then it was fifth, sixth, seventh. It was between 125 and 130 each year. Yeah.
So you just said something with so much, with some great smiles. It's so much fun. You said FSBOs and Expires. It's so much fun. And I think about all the people I work with that all of a sudden say, fun sucks, making these fucking calls and all this shit. I mean, why is it fun? Explain that to us.
It's fun when you learn how to talk to them. That's when it's fun, because I still remember, here's what I want agents to understand. It doesn't matter how skilled you are in FSBOs and Expireds. No one sets an appointment with everybody that they talk to.
Right.
I got hung up on every day, several times a day. People yell at you. They call you names. People don't answer. Oh my gosh, I hear that from agents. I've been hearing it forever. And they say, well, most people don't answer the phone. Yeah, that's how it is. Well, there are a lot of wrong numbers. Yeah, that's how it is. But when you get somebody on the phone that's motivated, that is logical, and you can have an effective, powerful conversation, set a listing appointment, pre-qualify that appointment, go out and list that house that same day. That's what's exciting, Dave.
Absolutely.
That's the exciting part.
So, okay. So let's go through, let me answer a couple of questions just to dissect a little bit. What do you do when somebody don't answer? Do you leave a message? Do you call them back? What do you do?
I never left messages. If I'm calling a for sale by owner or an expired, especially with new expireds, like the ones that expired today, if I call them early in the morning and they don't answer, and I don't have appointments listing appointments in the afternoon, I'll call them again in the afternoon. I never left messages. And I still don't believe in leaving messages. After having coached tens of thousands of agents over the last several years, I've heard it all. Well, I leave, how about this message, that message? I've had agents say to me, I spent, my other coach had told me to leave messages, and I've spent a year leaving messages, like you don't get any call backs. If somebody's going to call you back, they might call you back because they see they missed a call. Like me leaving a message to a FSBO and Expired saying, I'm a real estate agent. I don't care what I say. They're not interested in talking.
Not a chance. Right.
Like, you wanna find the sure way of never speaking with them. Leave them a message, because they won't call you back. They're getting calls from agents nonstop. So I never really did that. They don't answer the phone, and I never let it ring. Like, some agents just go in a prospecting coma there, and the phone's ringing and ringing and ringing, and they're like, no. I let it ring 4 times. They don't answer, hang up, for various reasons. I mean, most people, if they're able to pick up the call, they'll answer by the fourth ring. If they don't pick up at the fourth ring, they're not likely to answer. Now I'm wasting my time, ring, and going to the next one. That's it.
Right. So you call them back later. Okay. So that's not leaving a message. I love that because that's one of the things that I talk about all the time. Keep calling them. If you can't get them after a few days or whatever, send them a text. This is my thought. Let me know what you think about this. Send them a text. Say, hey, look, been trying to reach you. Are you still looking to sell your house? Not a, hey, how are you? Not, this is Dave as a real estate agent. That's all it is. Does that sound good to you?
Absolutely. 100%.
Awesome. So, okay. So the next thing was, what do you do when they scream at you and hang up on you? Do you do anything? Do you call them back? Do you call them the next day? What do you do?
If you said if they scream and hang up.
Yeah.
It depends on who it is, right? Again, all I'm talking about is FSBOs and expires because that's my experience. So
right.
I call an expired a brand new expired. They expired today and they scream and they hang up. I'm not going to call him immediately, but will I call him back a few hours later today? Absolutely. They don't even remember who I am. I mean, in South Florida, unless you're the only agent in your area, which, expireds, a lot of agents are calling, they're getting so many calls from agents. I don't even blame them. If I call an expired here in Miami at 10 a.m., they've probably already had hundreds of calls.
Right.
If I was in their place, I'd be screaming at the agents too and hanging up. I'd be like completely fed up. And that's if I answer the phone. So with a new expired, the goal is to, obviously you got to check and make sure you don't do anything illegal, because there are certain times, depending on different states, where you could actually make these calls, but you want to call them as early as you can, because when you're the 20th or 50th or 100th agent, they're gonna scream and yell. They're gonna be upset. I would be too. So what do? I call them back later, same day. Maybe they're a little bit calmer. Will I not call? Here's how I feel too. They may not answer the phone after getting so many calls from agents. That's another reason to call early. But if they answer the phone and they're really upset, to me, that's an indication that they want to sell. They're not happy. I mean, they've just wasted 6 months with an agent without selling. So will I call back a seller that I believe is motivated to sell? 100%. I mean, I don't care. I think a lot of agents label being yelled at and hung up at as rejection. I don't. Human beings were always wanting to figure out, what does this mean? Somebody hung up on me and they yelled and hung up. What does this mean? Nothing. That's, to me, means they're motivated. They're angry because they're getting a lot of calls. Their house didn't sell. It's not saying anything about me. They don't know who I am. Maybe they're just, So if you make it mean, oh, they're rejecting me, well, then you stop making calls, because how are you? It's impossible to get anybody to say yes without getting 10 or 20 or 100 times more no's. That's just the way this works for everybody. So
is it so in other words, you're saying it's a numbers game, so you just got to keep calling till you start getting someone that'll talk to you, right?
100%. Yeah, that's what sales is, and that's what prospecting is. So yep.
So all right, so we talked about in the intro 100 listings in 2022. That's you're talking about with a team, right?
No, I'm not talking about a team. I'm talking about solo right there. One person. Why not? I mean, it's 100% doable, Dave. It is. I have no doubt in my mind that any real estate agent, unless they actually have some type of mental disability, they could do this. They can do it. I don't care. They don't even have to. You don't have to be super smart, educated, like school stuff. I'm not. I don't have a college degree, and it's perfectly fine. You have to have the desire. And by having, I've mentioned recently that I've been rereading Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, that burning desire. When you want something and you want it real badly, you'll figure it out. You'll do whatever you have to do. You'll make it happen. And it's not that complicated. It's not hard to do, meaning It's not like you have to learn how to, it's not brain surgery. It's like,
Right.
it's pretty easy.
Right.
Yep.
So, all right. So 100 listings in 2022. So you're only working with FSBOs and Expires? Is there anybody else you're working with? What about buyers? I mean, are you working with buyers? Are you doing all different kinds of work with buyers or what?
Dave, I never worked with buyers.
Wow.
So I'm biased, okay? When you asked me about buyers, I said, no. Buyers are way too time consuming. Every real estate agent knows that. If you've taken one buyer out in your entire career, you already know that. Time consuming, way more. Now, is it easier to be a listing agent? In my opinion, it is. You're going to have to put in a lot of work, but with buyers, you put in a lot of work too. When we say take 100 listings in 2022, you could be a brand new agent, you could be an experienced agent, different levels of production, who knows, whatever, it doesn't matter. I don't think it's possible for a single agent to take 100 listings in 1 year when they're working with buyers. You got to make a choice. Okay. And I believe in, the saying, being a jack of all trades and master of none. Yeah. Pick one thing and master that one thing and become really great at that. So if I'm going to make a choice, I'm choosing listings. The crazy thing about it too is buyers agents, they go in the multiple listing service and they select the properties that they're going to show to buyers. They think that listings are hard to get. Okay, have you stopped to think that every listing they're showing, there's somebody listed that property, there's an agent who's called the listing agent. So, I mean, why do you need to be the buyer's agent? Wouldn't you want to be the listing agent? So that's what I'm about. That's where the money is. That's where the freedom is. That's where you gain your time. That's where you don't go insane. Be a listing agent.
Okay, so you're the listing agent, right? So we're in a situation these days to fast forward everything to 2022 today, right? And last year, and you've got listings. You're a listing agent. All you deal with are listings. You got them coming all the time because of your business and the reputation you built, and you're getting 10, 20 offers on one property, on one of your listings, probably all of your listings, right? So the biggest question that buyers and agents have been buyer agents have been asking me is, Dave, we keep missing out. I keep taking the same question. We've missed out on 8 houses. There's 15. There's 20 listings. I don't know what to do. So I've got a couple of things that I tell them to do in order to edify the listing agent, et cetera, et cetera. So as a listing agent, Jackie, how does someone get through all the bullshit to come to you that you're willing to say, hey, you know what? This is going to work for me. As a listing agent, that's all you did. What's going to get through all the minutia to help them get their offer accepted?
Oh, okay. I see your question. Wow. I worked in a very hot market too, Dave. I got into real estate in 96. So all these years that I was listing 100 FSBOs and 50 expireds a year for several years in the early 2000s. I know you've been in real estate for a long time. You know what the market was around that time.
Right. That's what it was. Yep.
Yeah. Now, I don't know the answer to that. That's it's price. I mean, ultimately, it's going to be terms and price. You put in a cash offer, you're the highest bidder. But yeah, this is going on in the early 2000s too. Prices kept going up and up and up because there was always somebody else that was willing to pay a higher price. And the terms are great. And I don't know anything else. When you're a buyer's agent with all these multiple offers, it's a tough situation. Again, wouldn't you rather be on the listing side of this?
There you go. Exactly. Okay, so you're making the calls, Jackie, and we're getting to the point where we're starting to get appointments, and we're getting appointments, and you got the appointment for, let's say today's Friday, as it is. You got an appointment for Tuesday at 5 o'clock. What are you doing between now and getting the listing? Getting the appointment and your appointment. Is there anything else you're doing aside from showing up to the appointment and doing a CMA?
Not just, I mean, working on my mindset.
Right. Well, what about
that's not something I do just between setting the appointment and going on the appointment. That's something that I do every day, all the time, till this day, nonstop.
Right.
But I also, my goal, Dave, was always to set listing appointments for the same day.
The same day. Okay.
Same day. Yeah.
So you set them
in
for
the
the
morning,
same.
go out in the afternoon. Yes.
How are you able to figure out from the phone call to actually understanding what their problem was? Like we talk, like Mike Ferry goes from the FSBO call to the pre-qualification call to the appointment. Talk to me about that sequence and how it works for you.
So the phone call and setting the appointment, and then on that same call. So if I'm speaking with you and I say, great, Dave, I look forward to seeing you today at 5 o'clock. And so that I could better prepare for our meeting. Tell me, Dave, when we sell your home, where will you be moving to? I'm already pre-qualifying on the same call.
Great. Okay.
Now, one thing that I want to say about this, because you and I we were talking a couple of days ago, and you mentioned pre-qualifying, because that's a thing that agents don't like to do. I remember too, in the beginning, my first couple of years, I didn't want to pre-qualify. I was scared they would cancel my appointment. I just want to go on this appointment. But then, in order for you to take 100 listings a year, you cannot go on unqualified listing appointments. You just cannot afford to waste your time meeting people without knowing what you're walking into. So I learned that, but in the beginning, I resisted pre-qualifying big time. But a big mistake that agents make all the time is they ask pre-qualifying questions before they set the appointment. That's a huge mistake, especially with a for sale by owner and an expired listing, because you were going to ask me something.
I was going to say, explain the difference between the questions and the placement of that question, because that's something that a lot of agents are not going to understand. Like, what is the pre-qualification question that they're asking too early?
Where are you moving to? How soon do you want to move? Motivation questions.
Okay.
Pricing questions. How much are you thinking you want to list your house for? Or those are the main ones. Okay,
cool.
Motivation and financial questions about price. Big mistake. Again, I'm talking FSBOs and expireds here.
Yes.
Agents do that all the time. They're asking these questions because, almost every script except for Jackie Kravitz script has those questions in it. Those are pre-qualifying questions. And the reason let me explain, right? So most agents won't understand what I'm talking about, and I get it. Let's say a FSBO. You're an agent, you call it for sale by owner. They have no idea who you are. They don't know you. They don't want to list a house with an agent. They don't think they need an agent. Some of them have had bad experiences with real estate agents before.
Right.
So understanding that when you dial the phone and they answer, that's what's going on. They don't know you. They don't want you. They don't need you. They had bad experience. They just don't want anything to do with a real estate agent. Now, you go on and ask, so you introduce yourself. So when you sell this home, where are you moving to? Put yourself in their place. Why are they going to tell a complete stranger who they don't know, who they have no interest in working with, they don't think they need them for anything, where I'm moving to? Like, where do you come from? Like, why are you asking me this question? Who are you? Like, none of your business. And anybody who's prospected have heard that before, right? Some people are a little more polite, but the point is they don't want to answer that. And an expired, the same thing. An expired is a brand new expired, right? If it's an old expired, they're whatever. They relapsed. Brand new expired, they're angry, they're frustrated, they're agitated, they're a little hostile, they're being bombarded with agents. Where are you moving to? The heck with you. It's like, just, I'm sorry, it's just a dumb question. Now, it's not for the beginning of the conversation.
Yes.
When you're pre-qualifying, you got to ask that. But see, when you're pre-qualifying an appointment because you've set an appointment. So the fact that you've already been able to build enough rapport, engage them in this conversation, so they said yes to meeting with you, now they're more open. Now you could ask and they'll give you some answers. Sometimes they're still a little resistant. Like they don't want to tell a forced sale by owner. Another reason why they wouldn't want to tell an agent they don't know where they're moving to. In their minds, they're thinking, if this agent knows that I'm desperate to sell the house, that's going to hurt me. That's going to work against me. So yeah, no. They downplay the motivation. Well, I'm not in a hurry. And if I don't sell it, it's okay. I could stay here. I could rent this house. There's a million things I could do. I have, mothers. They downplay the fact that they have this house for sale. So what's the point of asking a question that I'm not going to get a straight answer to? It's just a waste of time. Let me focus on setting the appointment. So how do I set the appointment, right? How do I go directly to that, which is my style? What is a for sale by owner interested in? The only thing they're interested in is selling this house and not paying a commission.
Right.
Money conversation is the only thing they care about. So my script is directly to that. What is an expired listing that wants to sell looking for? They're looking for a confident agent. They've already experienced everything else. They're looking for an aggressive, confident agent that makes them feel like, wow, you're not like everybody else that I've talked to. You're not like my previous agent. You're like nobody else. Yeah, I'll give you 20, 30 minutes. Come, show me what you've got. That's what they're looking for. So I go straight to the point, period. We're going to pre-qualify later after they say yes. Because if I start asking motivational questions first, they're going to downplay the motivation because they don't want me to know they're desperate to sell. I wouldn't want a real estate agent I don't know to know that either. It's like, yeah, no. So they're going to sound unmotivated. And most agents will use that as a way to disqualify. Yeah, they're tough to talk to and they're not motivated anyhow. This is a waste of my time. Call's over. Right.
So, all right. So we talked about what not to say. So how does that FSBO call start? I mean, you need to build rapport and start building a relationship, right? So the Jackie Kravitz way of getting that rapport started and getting them to say yes, how does that start?
So my way of building rapport is people, Dave, like people who are like themselves. Subconsciously, when you sound like them in every way, you're like a chameleon. I was thinking about this in the middle of the night. I don't know why. So, yeah, now that I'm saying it to you, I'm like, yeah, I was thinking about the chameleon. I watched the YouTube video a while back, and it was a chameleon walking through, like it has millions of views. Sunglasses of different colors, right? Plastic. So it would walk over a blue, bright blue, and it would turn blue. And then the next one was red. And this chameleon is walking around changing colors all over the place. That's how you build rapport. Subconsciously, when you sound like them, meaning their rate of speech, the volume of their voice, the emotion, subconsciously, to them, you sound familiar. There's a certain familiarity that makes me feel comfortable here. And that's how rapport is built. Now, you got a few seconds to do that, especially with an expired, because a new expired, they'll hang up on you way faster than a FSBO will. Right. FSBO, they'll talk to you, invite you to the open house, ask if you have a buyer. Expired, new expireds, they're gone just like that. So when an expires, like brand new, they answer the phone and they're agitated. They answer the phone. Hello? Hello, this is Jackie. I'm a local real estate agent. I'm gonna match that. I learned from my mistakes, right? A lot of them.
Right.
My first couple of years, I didn't know this. Like, especially my first year, I was terrified of expireds. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure they're not really like super nice where you are, Dave. Like in South Florida, they were mean. I was Miss Nice Jackie. Hey, I call an expired and they answer, hello. And I go, hi, this is Jackie. And they're like, what? They want to eat me alive. Why? Yeah, it's true.
I know.
The fact that I'm being nice just aggravates them even more. They're already angry. Now they're even angrier. And I didn't know that. I mean, it took me a long time to, I heard about this mimicking and matching, but I didn't know, I didn't know how to do it. You know, it was not my natural way of communicating. So obviously with practice, I learned to mimic and match. So it creates that familiarity, and they subconsciously, right? It happens in a split second. They calm down a little bit. Yeah.
Right.
They don't know what to do with me. What's like, she's talking like me. It's like, okay, let's go. So the first line out of my mouth, which is, so they answer the phone. Hello. I go, hi, this is Jackie. I'm a local real estate agent. I'm sure you know your house came off the market today, and I'm calling you because I am confident that I can sell your house, and I'd like to meet with you for just 20 minutes and show you exactly how I can get this done. Would 3 o'clock work for you today? Will far be better. That's the opening line. And I say it, they're speaking now. Let's make sure that everybody understands what I'm saying. If I call an expired and they go, hello, I'm not going to say, hi, this is Jackie. I'm a local real estate agent. No, I'm going to match that. So, hi, this is Jackie. I have to adapt. I have to be that chameleon here so that they feel like, okay, you know, they have that subconsciously comfort feeling, and they don't hang up. That's the goal, to stay on the phone long enough so they hear something. And this new expired, what do they want to hear? I am confident. That's what they're looking for. And okay, this doesn't sound like everybody else here. Not only am I saying I am confident, I'm how I'm saying it matches what I'm saying, right? And they're open to, okay, what's going on? They still gonna give you objections, but they didn't hang up, which is what they do, new expireds, with most agents. FSBO is the same thing.
So your expired is the same opening line. It's just the way you say it.
No. I'm sorry. No, what I mean, the opening line, that's the expired opening line. I'm saying the same in terms of the mimicking and matching to build rapport. Yeah. Yes. The opening line, my opening line with a FSBO, so they answer the phone. And I'm not really into saying the name of the company. Again, learn from mistake, because if I say, first of all, I never use my last name, because even now, like every time I say, what is your name? Jackie Kravitz. Can you spell that? It's like, so I'm calling somebody I don't know. They don't understand my last. I want this as simple as possible. You know, what's the point of my last name? Unless you're like super well known, which I was not. So like they don't know who I am. And also the company name, if you say I'm with EXP, they would say, oh, I already got 10 calls from agents from EXP. I already got this objection. So at some point I stopped saying the company name. That objection went away. I never heard that again. I'm like, okay. Right. So the opening line for a FSBO, hi, this is Jackie. I'm a local real estate agent. I noticed that you have your house for sale. Looks like you're selling it yourself, right? And I'm going to wait for them to say, yeah, that's right. I'm giving you a quick call today because I work with buyers and sellers here in the area and just wanted to see how things are working out for you. That's the opening line. We'll get them talking because they want to talk. Oh, I'm doing great. I'm getting a lot of calls and a lot of activity and things are amazing. Excellent. That's great. I want them to talk. And they do. Once in a while, you're going to get somebody saying, well, nah, we're not getting a lot of calls. We just get a lot of calls from agents. Not everybody's doing great, but it doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter. I just want to, instead of me talking, I want to give them an opportunity to talk. It's magical. And then, so that I know that you put on the bottom there, Dave, the agents who are watching can go at salesxtraining.com. If you just go to all the way down the bottom of the screen, you'll be able to download my FSBO script. So after I asked them, how are things working out for you? And they tell me, I'm gonna repeat and approve all of that. Oh, great. So it sounds like you're doing pretty good. You're getting a lot of that, whatever. Making them feel like I heard them. I got it. And then I'm going to ask, Dave, I'm curious, is saving the real estate commission the main reason why you decided to sell it yourself instead of using an agent? What are they going to say? Yeah. Oh, yeah, you charge a lot of money. Straight to the point. This is the conversation they're interested in, nothing else.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you just go from there and you ask for the appointment after you get that conversation, right? So, I mean, there's a lot of ways to do it, and there's a lot of ways to talk about commission because, let's face it, Jackie, commission is basically the main reason they're going to do it on their own. Yes. And they may even tell you, well, I hate real estate agents. Okay. I'd probably say, so do I. But,
exactly. There you go.
Right? So, all right. So you've gotten the appointment. Now we're going to the pre-qualification segment of the call. So it's to motivation. It's other things. What other questions might you be asking for qualification reasons?
So motivation, where they're moving
right.
to. Motivation is where, when, and why. So I want to know that.
Right. Where, when, and why.
Where, when, and why. Then I want to know what price are they thinking they want to list this property for. I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to start, oh, well, can you get me X dollar? No. I'm not having a conversation about price over the phone. But I want to gather. Pre-qualification, Dave, is gathering information. I'm gathering information.
Yes.
So that I can walk into this appointment prepared. And when I say gather information, so you're not handling objections.
Right.
And this is critically important because if you don't pre-qualify the appointment, you're going to be blindsided by something or more than one thing at the appointment because you didn't ask, so you don't know. So the price, I'm also going to ask how much they owe on the property. Do they have a second mortgage? I want to make sure they have equity to sell. Or if they don't and they're going to do a short sale, I want to know that before I walk into this appointment.
Right.
I also want to make sure that every owner of record and decision maker, because sometimes the decision maker is not the person on the tax record. Maybe sometimes, but I want to know that all the decision makers will be there so that I can walk away with a signed listing agreement and everybody that needs to sign is able to sign. Right. I also want to know, and this is actually, it was the question, pre-qualifying question that scared me the most when I got into real estate, but it turned out to be my favorite one just when I was able to understand how powerful this question is. And it's the last one on my script. So, Dave, when I see you today at 5 o'clock, if at the end of our meeting, you feel confident that hiring me is the best decision you can make, will you be ready to go ahead and get started? Favorite question. Wow. Yes. Amazing. I love that.
I love that question because a lot in a pre-qual call, people like to ask that question usually in the beginning.
Yeah, no. Last question.
That is amazing. I love that.
They're more likely to say yes to that after you've, because I say to my clients too, the listing presentation is not an isolated event. You just don't plop into a listing appointment. No, what preceded it is the phone call, the pre-qual. And one of the reasons, again, I mean, there's several reasons. to go on the appointment the same day. But one of the reasons is so you ride that momentum. You set an appointment, you pre-qualify, you've done a great job over the phone. They're excited. They can't wait to meet with you. You're not like any other agent they've talked to. You got momentum going here. You're going to go on this appointment 2 days later? No. Not only that, but obviously with expireds and FSBOs, they're getting bombarded with phone calls. So if you 2 days later, the house is already listed with somebody else. So,
Right.
so that question, right? If you feel confident that hiring me is the best decision you can make. Now, that question is most likely in many cases going to lead to asking other questions.
Yes.
If they say a straight yes, and you're confident it's a yes, this listing is mine, unless I show up and I get really, really weird. And, the fact that they say yes to meeting with you, they're saying, I'm open to the possibility of listing with you. So
Right.
if I walk out of that appointment without the listing, I mean, I did something to turn that yes into a no.
Right.
And it's my responsibility. But if they say, well, I'm not sure, we'll see when you get here. Oh, I'm not done, because I have no idea what's going on, right? I'm gathering information. What do I know when they say, well, we'll see when you get here? I know nothing. So I got to keep asking questions. So now, so Dave, I'm just curious. Are you planning on speaking with other real estate agents? Because I know you mentioned earlier you've been getting a lot of calls from agents. Have you spoken with anyone else? Or are you planning on doing that? I'm going to ask that.
Yeah. I plan on talking to 2 agents.
Okay. And have you already set those appointments, Dave?
Yeah, I have an appointment for tomorrow.
Okay. So one for tomorrow, and you said 2 others. So how about the other one? You've set that appointment?
We're set for 2 of them tomorrow. One's the next day.
Okay.
Right.
And Dave, there are only a few agents in our area that actually sells a lot of homes, and I may actually know who they are. I'm just curious, who is it that you'll be talking to?
But I'd rather not say.
Okay. So Dave, I am the first one then. I'm meeting with you today at 5 o'clock, and you have 2 other agents coming tomorrow. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So in this process, Dave, of interviewing 3 agents in this case, what specifically are you looking for in the agent that you'll hire?
Well, they got to get me a lot of money for the house. They got to get me the most money for the house. Can you do that?
Well, look, Dave, I have no doubt in my mind that I am the best agent in this marketplace to sell your home for the most money possible. Obviously, that's what you're looking to do, right?
Yes.
Yes. So outside of that, Dave, obviously getting you the most money for the property, what else is important to you in this agent you'll hire?
Well, one of the things that I hear is that agents stop talking to you. I don't get any communication, and once it's on the market, it's like I'm not going to hear from you. That's what I've heard from friends of mine.
Yeah. Actually, if I can be completely honest with you, Dave, because I work with agents all the time, I actually specialize in selling homes just like yours that were listed previously and didn't sell. And that's the number one complaint that I hear from homeowners. And I'm not sure what agents are doing out there. I'm going to be communicating with you on a weekly basis, Dave. And obviously the goal is to get your home sold as quickly as possible, because you don't want to drag this process out. You want the most money possible in the least amount of time with the least amount of hassle, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, honestly, Jackie, that's your name, right, Jackie? So honestly, there's another agent I talked to who said the same thing. How do I know that how do I know that I'm really going to hear from you? Because everybody says they're going to do it.
Dave, let me put it to you this way. You'll know, because any agent can say anything, Dave. When you and I meet, you will clearly see why we should be working together. And I'm going to show you my track record. I have proven results, because again, talk is cheap. Anybody can say anything. I'm going to show you exactly what I do, and I know that it will make sense to you. So I have this question now, Dave. I know you got these 2 appointments coming out tomorrow. Do you know these agents? How did you select these agents that you're going to talk to?
One a friend of mine told me about, and the other one called me.
Okay, so one was a call just like me, and somebody else was referred by, through a friend.
Yeah.
So I got to ask you this now, Dave, because I imagine that you got better things to do than spending your time with real estate agents. And our meeting is going to be between 20 and 30 minutes. But some of these other agents out there, they'll come out to your house and spend 2 or 3 hours. And I'm sure you don't want to waste time with that. So here's what I want to ask you, Dave. I'm coming out today at 5 o'clock. If at the end of our meeting today, Dave, you feel as confident as I feel that I am the best agent to get this home sold for you quickly for the most money possible, and we're going to be communicating regularly. I know that's important to you. Bottom line, at the end of our meeting, you clearly see that I can provide and deliver what you are looking for. In that case, Dave, will you consider going ahead and getting started today?
Yeah, but I've got those other appointments.
Yeah, well, we haven't met yet. Assuming, Dave, that at the end of our meeting, you want to go ahead and sign the listing agreement and we can get started today, I could actually call those agents and take care of canceling the appointment for you. I do that all the time. And by the way, they're going to appreciate that because they're not going to waste their time preparing, driving to your house. And by the way, if they happen to have a buyer, they're going to get paid as well. So I can take care of that for you. Don't worry about that. Like I said, I do that all the time. So Dave, is there anything else that I need to know that's important to you before we meet this afternoon?
No, I think you got it. I mean, let's just let me see what you got to say, and we'll go from there.
Excellent. I look forward to meeting with you today, Dave, and more importantly, getting your home on the market and getting it sold for you. See you at 5. Now, I know we're running out of time, Dave, because it's an hour, but this is not the entire pre-qualifying.
Right.
I just wanted to take you through, like, what do I do if they say no? What do I do if they don't give me the name of the agent? I would ask all of these questions. But that's the path that I'll go down so that I know what's going on when I walk into the house.
Yeah, I think it's really important. I mean, I think that was really good. What we just did is I wanted to throw out some objections that agents are getting, you know, and that's the thing about role play and practice. We didn't get a chance to talk about that at all. It's really, really important to practice every day. Would you agree with that, Jackie?
It's everything, Dave. It's how do you become great at anything without doing it a lot? I mean, my first, I still do. I'm studying all the time.
Yep.
I'm I'm revising scripts. I'm reading. I still do. My first year in real estate, I used to spend an hour a day reading scripts out loud as fast as I could. An hour a day. People are like, "Are you crazy?" Like, I'd be so bored. I mean, I gotta practice. How am I gonna learn what to say? It's not even a matter of just memorizing scripts. I need to own it. I own it. I don't have to think about it. I'm talking to you. It's like who I am. And the only way to have that is by practicing and role playing. There's no other way. And making a lot of calls. But see, every call that you make is an opportunity that if you're not prepared for that opportunity, you're missing thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. So I love the quote, Dave. You might have heard, luck happens when preparation meets opportunity. Every call is an opportunity, and I'm going to be prepared for that. And how I do that is by practicing and role playing every day. Yes.
Every day. And I always like to use my sports stars. I use Derek Jeter. And let's look at the Tom Brady. I mean, like him or not, the guy practices every day. What does he do? What does he do before a playoff game? He practices. What does he do the day before the Super Bowl? He practices. What does he do the day of the Super Bowl before he gets into the game? He practices. He's practicing all through in the game too. They're never stopping, and that's the thing. I mean, look at Jeter. He made 50-some errors his first year in professional baseball. He didn't quit.
That's right.
He may have wanted to, but he didn't.
Yeah. Elite athletes. That's how they think. That's how they behave. Actually, elite anything. You know, when people are really committed and dedicated to what they do,
right?
that's what they do. It's nonstop. So
actually makes it a lot easier. And one of the things that does for you, Jackie, correct me if I'm wrong, but it also gives you more confidence when you've been practicing it, and all of a sudden it's automatic. You know, what I used to tell agents, but I still tell agents, is that if you practice this and you listen to it and you use it, it's just going to come out of your head. And you might even say to yourself after it comes out of your head, where the hell did that come from?
yeah, well, and it's like, you've heard the saying, right, Dave? How does a magician pull a bunny out of a hat? Well, you got to put it in the hat first. Otherwise, you can't pull it out. Same thing. How is it going to come out? You got to put it in there first. So
that's right. Yeah, it's just an amazing ideal when it comes to scripts and dialogues, because you talk about reciting, you talk about memorizing, you talk about learning the scripts, but as you said, I mean, it's not. You can say whatever you want. It's how you're saying it as well. Right. Like you talked about the mimicking and matching, mirror matching, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
That's how you're going to do it. It's how you're saying things, right? It's 100%. How you're asking the questions. It's how you're getting.
Here's the problem, Dave. If you don't know what to say, you can't pay attention to how you're saying it, because you're in your head thinking about what to say. Like these conversations, they don't like you can't pause the conversation with the Facebook and say, oh, hang on a minute, let me see what I say. No, this is like fast pace here. So if you don't have the scripts down, you're in your head thinking about what to say. How could you mixing and matching to do that? I got to listen very intently. Repeat and approve. I got to be listening. I'm not listening when I'm thinking about what to say. So owning the scripts happens before you're able to actually master the delivery.
Exactly. And I always tell people, they say, I hear agents say, well, I don't like scripts. Really? What do you do every day? What do you say when you say something the same way? Like I say it all too often. When somebody says it, I say 100% means I agree, right? That's a script that I learned, right? Exactly. Everything we do is a freaking script. So please don't tell me you don't like scripts.
Yeah, they say they don't like script. They're using one every day. It's just an ineffective one. So
exactly. Well, Jackie, this has been fantastic. We could probably go on a few more hours. But neither of us have that time, and this is great. I've learned an awful lot, I am.
It's fun.
I'm really appreciative of you coming on, and we've got on the screen at Jackie Kravitz, which is Instagram, your email address, and also salesxtraining.com is where they can go and they can get more information about your program, and there's also a free FSBO script. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, just go on the homepage, salesxtraining.com. Go scroll down to the bottom, and you'll be able to download the FSBO scripts right there.
What would be the number one thing that you would tell an agent to do when talking about FSBOs and expires? What's the number one thing they have to do just to culminate everything we talked about today?
Stop overthinking and just speak with these people.
Awesome.
Yeah. Actually, it's a lot easier to speak with them, whether you call or you door knock, than it is in your head. And most of my clients that keep getting ready to get started and thinking about, oh my gosh, and I don't know what to say, and this is going to be so scary, and I don't know. The more you think about it, the worse it gets in your head. And then they say, oh, that wasn't that bad. Oh, I have a client that called an expired first week of January for the first time, never called expireds. She set an appointment, and then the expired, she's pre-qualifying. They said, oh, no, I'm not going to list the house. She went there and they listed it. It's $1 million home. She's never called expireds before. She's like, wow, I've been thinking about it for months, thinking it's so hard, and here it goes. It wasn't that hard at all. So stop overthinking. Just take action. That's it.
Right. I got two more things really quick, Jackie. One is, same question I ask everybody at the end of the broadcast is, how do I, Dave Finale, help you grow your business?
Wow. Well, refer them to SalesX Training so they can be great listing agents.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
I will do that. And lastly, everybody comes on a broadcast, and I know you mentioned it to me when we got together. You want to see, where's my hat? And so the hat is coming to you. You're getting your hat this way. You can wear it on the beaches of Miami and just enjoy what you're doing. And this is the hat, right?
It's a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
Jackie, thank you so much for being on. Just stay on for a minute as we go out. We'll be right back to you. Everybody, thanks so much for coming on today. Again, salesxtraining.com/script, at Jackie Kravitz, and Jackie at salesxtraining.com. Make sure you check her out. And also, you got me, talktodave.work if you're interested in having a conversation. Thanks so much, everybody. And we will see you next week with another great broadcast.